are doing a show here, and we've been doing it for 5 days now, and we've been going around actually and talking to all the different people at the protests, and it's amazing. So, you know, the mainstream media says that these guys don't know what they're doing. Well, we've talked to so many people, dozens of people, who know exactly what they're doing. So, for example, yesterday we interviewed a guy who I nicknamed the Professor, who was the smartest, most educated protester I have ever seen. Okay, he had a chart comparing 1953 to today and how we had a 92% marginal tax rate for the rich. And you know what? We had much better results. No deficits, much smaller deficits, much better income equality all across the board. We talked to a guy who is has a great little simple sign that says, "It's the Fed, stupid." And he explained why the Federal Reserve is a part of the whole problem. So we've talked to so many people here that totally get it, right? Now, what's interesting is the people who mischaracterize this protest. So this morning, Jesus, Aaron, and I sit down to breakfast, and a guy that's sitting next to us asks us, "Hey guys, I'm trying to go to Goldman Sachs. Do you know where I go?" And we thought, wow, that's funny. Then he said, I said, "What are you going to do at Goldman Sachs? Are you a financial analyst?" He said, "No, I'm an oil driller." So this was the mother lode. A guy who is an oil driller going to Goldman Sachs for a meeting, right? And then he sees Jesus' button that says Occupy Wall Street. And he says, are you guys part of the Occupy Wall Street movement? And I said, "We're media covering it," right? And he says, "Oh, those guys, you know, they don't want to work for a living." I said, "No, you misunderstand the whole protest." I said, "Let me tell you what it's about." I said, "It's about the fact that government is getting bought by corporate interests." And he's like, "Well, I don't like government." I said, "That's good. Neither do they. They don't like that our politicians are bought. Do you agree?" He said, "Yeah, I agree. The politicians are bought." And I said, "Who bought them?" And then, as always, they get stumped because he's about to go meet with the guys who bought him, Goldman Sachs, right? And then it got even better. He said, "Well, I don't like subsidies." I said, "Great. Neither do we. We don't like corporate cronyism, right?" So then he says, "All right, well, for example, take Solyndra. Right? That's a subsidy to green energy I don't like." I said, "Great, how about the oil subsidies?" He said, "Well, the oil subsidies that I get, they make sense." I mean, it was perfect, but it was a perfectly friendly conversation, and by the end, he understood what we were saying, that we're not against companies, oil drilling companies, oil companies, whatever it might be. We're against them getting an unnatural advantage. We're for the free market, and what he said at the end is, the problem is that message isn't getting out, right? So he said, "When I turn on television, that's not what I see." And I said, "Part of the problem is you're turning on Fox News." So, but if you talk to these folks, you can begin to see that they misunderstand Occupy Wall Street. So we're trying to correct that here.